Every shadow hides a story, every whisper hides a secret, and somewhere between midnight and madness, the truth begins to bleed. So dim the lights, lock the doors, and listen closely, because tonight you're entering a world of ghosts, obsessions, monsters, and the beautifully cursed. I'm your host, Vixen Cross, and welcome to the Midnight Archive. Hello and welcome back to the Midnight Archives. Today's archives come to us from the West Texas highways. Then we travel down to South Texas and we learn why truckers don't drive past midnight, why our elders say not to dance with strangers during Holy Week, and why we should never trust a white owl's hoots at night. And with that, let's get into the first archive. The Texas Highway cuts through empty stretches of West Texas like a scar. Miles of blacktop, dying scrub bushes, telephone poles that look like crucifixes against the moonlit sky. At night, there was nothing out there except coyotes, abandoned gas stations, and the feeling that something old was watching from beyond the headlights. People around Marathon and Alpine called it the Devil's Spine Road. Most truckers refused to drive it after midnight. Eli Navarro laughed when he first heard the stories. He was 28, tired and broke. Driving freight between Austin and El Paso in an 18-wheeler that rattled every time the wind touched it. Ghost stories didn't scare him, lack of sleep did, debt did, and the possibility of losing his route did. But on a cold November night, somewhere around 2:13 a.m., he saw something standing beside the road. At first, it looked like a deer. Then the headlights hit it fully. Too tall, legs bent wrong. Skin looked stretched tight over bone, pale gray and hairless. Its reflecting eyes glowed yellow in the beams. Eli's stomach dropped. Then the thing smiled. Not an animal smile, a human smile, wide, knowing. He jerked the wheel instinctively. The trailer fishtailed hard behind him before slamming back into lane. When he looked in the side mirror, the creature was still standing there in the road dust, watching. Then it unfolded upward, like it had been crouching. By the time it fully stood, its head nearly reached the bottom of the telephone lines. Jesus Christ. Eli slammed the accelerator and didn't stop until he reached a gas station outside Sanderson. The station looked half abandoned. One flickering sign, an old pump, a faded Texas flag snapping weakly in the wind. Inside, an old woman sat behind the counter drinking coffee from a chipped mug. She looked at Eli's face and frowned immediately. "You saw something." It wasn't a question. Eli tried to laugh it off, but his voice cracked. "Probably just tired." The woman stared another second before nodding slowly. "Tall thing?" Eli froze. "Gray skin?" she continued. "Big smile?" The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. How'd you know that?" The old woman sat down her mug carefully. "Because people kept seeing it." A silence settled between them. Outside, the wind howled across the desert. She leaned closer. "The rule out here is simple. If you see it beside the road, don't stop." Eli swallowed hard. "What happens if you do?" The old woman looked towards dark windows. "It asks for help." A chill crawled across Eli's neck. "And if you answer it," she whispered, "it follows you home." 3 nights later, Eli convinced himself the encounter was stress, sleep deprivation, imagination until the knocking started. He lived alone in a small apartment in Austin near the edge of town. Thin walls, weak locks, and the kind of place where every sound carried. At 3:07 a.m., 3 slow knocks echoed from his front door. Knock, knock, knock. Eli jolted awake. He stared at the clock glowing red beside his bed. Another 3 knocks came, slower this time. He grabbed the baseball bat beside his dresser and crept towards the door. The apartment was dark except for moonlight spilling through the blinds. The peephole showed nothing, just the hallway, empty. He stood there nearby before backing away. Then a voice came, soft, barely above a whisper.
Help me.
A woman crying. Eli's pulse hammered.
Please.
The voice sounded wrong somehow, like several voices laid together beneath it. He looked through the peephole again. Still nothing. Then a whisper came directly beside the door.
I know you saw me.
Eli stumbled backwards. The hallway's lights flickered. And for one horrible second, something impossibly tall moved past the peephole. Not walking, gliding. A long gray shape crossing the narrow view. Eli didn't sleep the rest of the night. The story spread deeper. You went into Texas. In East Texas forest, hunters spoke of a pale figure moving silently between the trees. In the hill country, people claimed to hear voices calling their names from dark, creepy beds after sunset. Near old border towns, family nailed crosses above the doors because something scratched at the walls at night. Most folks dismissed the folklore until people vanished. A month later, after Eli's first sighting, a state trooper named Daniel Reeves disappeared near Fort Stockton. His cruiser was found abandoned by the highway. Engine still running, dashcam still recording. The footage never reached the public, but rumors spread fast online. People said the video showed Reeves stepping out of the cruiser after spotting a stranded woman on the roadside. She wore a white dress. Long hair covered her face. The trooper asked if she needed help. She slowly lifted her head. Then the camera distorted violently with static. Reeves began screaming, not shouting, screaming like somebody being skinned alive. The recorded ended after something massive stepped into frame. Officially, Reeves was listed as missing. Unofficially, nobody on the highway drove alone anymore. By December, Eli started noticing things in his apartment. Doors left open, wet footprints on the kitchen tile. The smell of dirt and rotting meat drifted through the rooms with no source. Worst of all were the dreams. Every night, he stood on the same empty Texas road beneath the blood-red moon. Every night, the creature waded further down the highway, smiling, closer each time until one night he finally saw its face clearly. Its mouth stretched from ear to ear, splitting the skin of its cheeks. Human teeth crowded together in impossible rows. Its eyes looked almost gentle, like it pitied him. When Eli woke, something was standing in the corner of his bedroom, tall enough for its head to touch the ceiling. He couldn't move. He couldn't breathe. The creature slowly bent down until his face hovered inches from its own. Its skin twitched, bones cracked softly beneath it. Then it whispered,
You let me in.
Eli shut his eyes and screamed. When he opened them again, the room was empty, but deep claw marks carved across the ceiling remained there permanently. People in Texas still tell stories about lonely highways, about strange figures standing beside the road after midnight, about voices outside the window asking to be let inside. Truckers share warnings over radios in numerous voices. If you see someone smiling out there in the desert, keep driving, because some encounters aren't accidents. Some things wait in empty places for years. Hungry, patient, and once they notice you, they never really leave. Ooh. If anybody out there has ever seen something or heard something on the Devil's Road or highway, let us know if you've had any experiences or something like that, like while driving down the highway. I myself hate long drives. They always make me feel so anxious and like, sitting down for so long, not my thing. Alright, this next archive is very popular down here in South Texas. I've heard it since I was a child, and I wanted to share it with you guys, from our Hispanic culture to yours. People who live in the Rio Grande Valley still whisper about her. Some say it happened in McAllen, others swear it was Brownsville, or a dance hall outside of Mission, where neon lights flickered red every Friday night. Older folks argue the details, but they all agree on one thing. A girl danced with the devil and never came home. The story became known across South Texas as the devil at the disco, or the girl who danced with the devil, a legend deeply tied to Rio Grande Valley and Mexican American folklore. In the spring of 1978, an 18-year-old named Elena Morales lived with her parents near the edge of Weslaco, Texas. Their little white house sat beside the dirt-rimed load of mesquite trees and a rustic fence post. The Rio Grande Valley nights carried heat even after dark, and crickets screamed so loud they sounded electric. Elena hated that town. She hated the church women who stared too long. She hated the gossip. She hated everyone who acted like girls were already born guilty. But most of all, she hated being watched. Her mother watched the length of her skirts. Her father watched the boys who looked at her. The church watched everything else. Elena was beautiful in a kind of way that made people uncomfortable. Long black hair down to her waist, gold hoop earrings, red lipstick applied in secret before leaving the house. Men looked twice at her. Women prayed for her. And in the valley, older generations believed bad things walked freely during Holy Week. That Friday happened to fall during Holy Week. "Don't go dancing tonight," her grandmother warned her while clutching a rosary tightly around her knuckles. "The devil walks on Good Friday." Elena rolled her eyes. "Then maybe he can buy me a drink." Her grandmother crossed herself immediately. "You joke now," she whispered, "but evil likes girls who laugh at it." That night, Elena snuck out after midnight. She wore a tight crimson dress, hidden for months beneath loose floorboards in her room. It shimmered under the moonlight like wet blood. She climbed out her window barefoot, heels hung from her fingers, and slipped into her friend Marisol's car. The girls drove towards McAllen with the windows down and Tejano music raring throughout the speakers. Everyone was going to Boscasio 2000. The nightclub was legendary across the valley. Colored lights flashed across packed dance floors while cigarette smoke curried thick enough to sting your eyes. People came from Harlingen, Donna, San Juan, and Reynosa just to dance there. Some versions of this legend take place specifically at Bocasios in McAllen. When Elena stepped inside, heads turned immediately. The bass shook the floor beneath her heel. Sweat glistened on dancers beneath the disco lights. Beer bottles clinked. Laughter echoed. The whole place felt alive. And for the first time in her life, Elena felt free. Men approached her all night, but none held her attention for long. Until close to 2 a.m., that was when a stranger arrived. Nobody saw him enter. One moment the dance floor was crowded and ordinary. The next, he was simply there. Tall, broad-shouldered, black suit, sharp enough to look painted on. Silver belt buckle gleaming beneath the red lights. His hair was slicked back perfectly. His smile was calm and confident, not nervous like local boys. Every woman in the nightclub noticed him, but his eyes looked only at Elena. He walked towards her slowly, like already knowing that she would say yes. "Dance with me," he said. His voice sounded strange, smooth, almost musical. Elena felt chills spread across her skin despite the heat. Still, she smiled. "I thought you'd never ask." The moment he touched her waist, the music around them seemed distant. People later claimed that the couple moved differently than everyone else, too perfectly, too gracefully, like floating instead of dancing. Even Marisol stopped talking when she saw them. The stranger spun Elena beneath the flashing lights while her laughter ranging through the club. She forgot her family, forgot church, forgot every warning she ever heard. Nothing existed except him, and he smelled incredible. Not cologne exactly, something darker, warm like smoke after rain. "You from around here?" Elena asked. "No," he answered softly. "I've been many places." His hands felt unusually cold, but she ignored it. The dancing continued, one song, then another, then another. People began staring openly. Some claimed the lights dimmed whenever he moved. Others said mirrors behind the bar reflected everyone except him. An older bartender finally muttered a prayer under his breath because he noticed something wrong. The stranger never blinked. Around 3 a.m., Elena suddenly froze mid-dance. The man had spun her outward beneath the neon lights, and for a brief second, she looked down at his feet. At first, her mind refused to understand what she saw. Then her stomach dropped. His polished black pant legs ended in enormous animal hooves, split down the middle, black as coal, wet against the dance floor. Not shoes, hooves. Elena screamed. The music screeched us to a stop. The entire nightclub turned towards them. People stumbled backwards in panic. Some crossed themselves immediately. Others ran for the exit. The stranger looked at Elena with disappointment rather than anger. "You shouldn't have looked," he whispered. Then the smell hit. Sulfur, rotting flesh, smoke, burned earth. Lights overhead exploded. Glass shattered. Women cried in terror. And the stranger smiled wider than human mouth should be able to. Witnesses later swore his eyes glowed red beneath the dark. Other versions of this legend described goat hooves rather than rooster feet, revealing the devil's identity. Elena tried to run, but he grabbed her waist hard enough to bruise. "Dance with me one more time," he said. She screamed for help. Nobody moved. Fear rooted everyone in place. Then the nightclub went completely black. The power outage lasted only a few seconds, but when the lights returned, the stranger was gone, and so was Elena. Police searched until sunrise. The valley buzzed with rumors by morning. Someone claimed Elena had run away. Others believe she had been kidnapped. Her father searched every bar from McAllen to Brownsville. carrying a pistol beneath his jacket. Her mother stopped sleeping and her grandmother refused to speak at all. 3 days later, a farm worker discovered Elena near an irrigation canal outside of Donna, alive, barely. She was curled in the mud beside the water wearing the same dress, now filthy, torn open at the shoulders. Her feet were bleeding raw, like she had been running for miles. But what terrified everyone the most was her face. She looked ancient, not old physically, just emptied out, like something inside her had been hollowed clean away. She never spoke normally again. At first, doctors thought she'd suffered trauma, but Elena kept saying impossible things. He's still dancing. He follows the music. He said he'd come back for others. Sometimes she screamed in the middle of the night about burning hands pulling her underground. Sometimes she clawed at her skin until she bled. And every Good Friday at exactly 3 a.m., she would begin dancing alone in her bedroom, slowly, silently, as if music only she could hear played somewhere far away. Her family covered every mirror in the house after Elena began speaking to reflections no one else could see. Neighbors claimed sulfur drifted from her bedroom windows at night. Dogs refused to enter the yard. Even priests became afraid of her. 1 year later, Elena disappeared again, this time for good. Her mother found the back door hanging open before sunrise. Wet footprints covered the kitchen floor. Not shoe prints, hoof prints, leading out into the darkness. They followed the tracks all the way to the highway before they vanished completely. Elena was never seen again, but older people in the Rio Grande Valley still talk about strange things in certain dance halls after night. Music stopping suddenly, the smell of sulfur near the bar, a tall man dressed in black asking women to dance. And if you stay long enough, you might see a woman in a red dress dancing beside him, her face pale, her eyes hollow, moving like she's trying to escape invisible hands pulling her closer every time the music plays. Some say she's still searching for an exit, others say she belongs to him now. But old people in the valley will tell you the same thing they told their children for generations. If a stranger asks you to dance during Holy Week, never look at his feet. I have personally always loved that story, and shout out to the Hometown Boys for that little snippet of a Tejano song. This last archive comes to us from the RGV as well. It's inspired by a tale from Daniel and his experience with La Lechuza. The old women in the Rio Grande Valley used to say there were only 3 sounds you'd never follow at night. A crying baby in the brush, someone calling your name from mesquite trees, and the whistling of La Lechuza. Most people laughed when they heard the stories. Kids turned them into dares. Teenagers mocked the legends at bonfires out near the irrigation canals. But old folks never laughed for long. Not when the wind shifted, not when dogs tucked their tails and refused to leave the porch, and never when a white owl hooted from the power lines. In the summer of 1998, a man named Daniel Salazar returned to his hometown of San Benito, Texas after nearly 15 years away. He had spent most of his adult life in Houston working construction, but after his father died, he inherited the family property, a weathered little farmhouse sitting alone near miles of sugar cane fields and dry brush country. The place looked smaller than he remembered. The porch sagged. The paint had peeled away in strips. The windmill behind the house squealed slowly as it turned against the orange sun evening sky. His younger sister Elena met him there just before sunset. She stepped out of her truck, with a worried look on her face. "You're really staying here?" she asked. Daniel laughed softly. "It's just a house, it's not a graveyard." Elena didn't smile. "You remember what Papa used to say about this land?" Daniel rolled his eyes. "Yeah, chupacabras, ghosts, witches, all that old valley stuff." "No," she said quietly. "Not all that." Her eyes drifted towards the tree line. La Lechuza. The name hung in the air like smoke. Even adults, they spoke it carefully. Daniel remembered the stories from childhood, an old witch who transformed into a giant owl at night. Sometimes she was the spirit of a woman who lost her child. Others claimed that she was a bruja who made deals with demons in exchange for eternal life. The oldest story said she hunted drunk men, cheaters, and those who brought suffering to their families. But Daniel stopped believing in legends a long time ago. "You're still scared of bedtime stories?" he teased. Elena grabbed his arm hard enough to hurt. "I'm serious. If you hear whistling at night, don't answer it." He chuckled again, but her face stayed pale. "And if you see an owl staring at the house," she whispered, "close the curtains." The first few nights passed quietly. The farmhouse creaked constantly. Coyotes screamed in the distance. The old plumbing grinded like something trapped inside the walls. Daniel spent his days repairing fences and clearing weeds from the property. By nightfall, he drank beer on the porch and watched lightning storms flicker far across the flat Texas horizon. Then, the animals started acting strange. One evening, he found his father's old hunting dog pressed against the kitchen cabinets, trembling violently. "What's wrong with you?" Daniel muttered. The dog refused to go outside. Later that same night, Daniel heard wings. Not ordinary wings. These sounded enormous. Thump, thump, thump. Like wet blankets slamming against the roof. He stepped onto the porch with a flashlight. Nothing, only darkness stretching over the fields. But then he heard it. A whistle. Soft, far away, almost playful. He froze. The sound came again, closer this time. The dog began whining inside the house. Daniel swept the flashlight towards the mesquite trees. At first, he thought he saw a woman standing between them. Then, the beam of light caught feathers. Something massive exploded upwards towards the sky. The flashlight slipped from his hands. The thing's wingspan had been 10 feet across. It vanished into the darkness before he could fully understand what he had seen. The next morning, he found dead chickens, scattered behind the barn, not eaten, not torn apart by coyotes, just broken, their necks twisted backward unnaturally, and nailed into the barn door was a dead owl. Its stomach had been sliced open. Inside was a human tooth. Daniel stared at it for a long time, then called Elena. She arrived before noon with 2 older women from church. They carried candles, herbs, and a small wooden crucifix wrapped in red thread. Daniel felt ridiculous watching them walk room to room, praying in Spanish. One of the women suddenly stopped near the hallway mirror. "She's already been inside," the woman whispered. Daniel frowned. "Who?" The woman refused to answer. Instead, she covered the mirror with a bedsheet. Before leaving, Elena pulled Daniel aside. You need to leave this place. For what? Some owl? Elena looked angry now. You think Papa drank himself to death because he was sad? Daniel went silent. Their father had died alone in this very house 3 years earlier. Officially, it was liver failure, but towards the end, he had become paranoid, terrified. He nailed crosses over windows and slept with every light on. The neighbor said he kept talking about scratching on the roof and whistling. He used to say something watched him every night, Elena said quietly. He said it sat outside his bedroom window. Daniel felt irritation creeping into his chest. People lose their minds when they get old. Elena stared at him with genuine fear. No, she whispered. People lose their minds when the lechuza wants in. That night, a storm rolled over the valley. Rain hammered the farmhouse roof. Thunder shook the windows. Daniel couldn't sleep. At around 2:13 in the morning, the power went out and the house fell silent, except for the rain and distant thunder. Then, the whistle right outside the window. Daniel sat upright in bed. The whistle sounded almost human now, like someone trying to imitate a bird. Then came scratching, slow, deliberate, across the glass. His chest tightened. He grabbed a flashlight and turned it towards the window. Nothing. Only rain. But then, lightning flashed. For half a second, he saw her. A gigantic white owl clinging to the outside of the wall. Its face wasn't fully bird. The eyes looked human. Old, wrinkled, knowing and smiling. Daniel stumbled backwards with a scream. The creature slammed itself against the window violently. Crack! The glass splintered. The owl opened its beak, and a woman's voice came out. Daniel. His blood turned to ice. It sounded exactly like his dead mother. Daniel. The voice crooned soothingly. He backed into the hallway, shaking uncontrollably. The scratching moved across the outside of the walls, then onto the roof. Heavy footsteps dragged slowly overhead. Not talons anymore, feet, human feet. The whistle came directly from above him now. Then silence. Complete silence. Daniel barely breathed. Suddenly, bang! Something crashed into the front door again. Bang! Wood began splintering. Daniel grabbed his father's shotgun from the closet and pointed it towards the entrance. The banging stopped. For several seconds, there was nothing but rain. Then came laughter. An old woman's laughter right behind him. Daniel spun around. The hall was empty. But the covered mirror at the end of the hallway had been uncovered. And in the reflection stood a tall woman in white. Her neck twisted unnaturally, her eyes black as oil, her mouth stretched into a grin filled with animal teeth. Daniel fired the shotgun. The mirror exploded. The woman vanished. Outside, something screamed. Not an owl, not a human, something in between. By sunrise, Daniel was packing his truck. He didn't care if people thought he was crazy anymore. He just wanted to leave. As he threw his bags into the back seat, he noticed footprints circling the house. Bare human footprints, mixed with giant owl tracks, over and over, around every window, every door, as though something had spent all night searching for a way inside. Then he noticed one final thing. Written in dirt beneath the porch, in shaky Spanish, Te via desde niño. I have watched you since childhood. Daniel drove straight to town and checked into a nearby motel in Harlingen. He stayed awake for almost 36 hours, convinced the thing had followed him. Eventually, exhaustion won. He fell asleep sometime after midnight. At 3:07 a.m., he woke to a whistling outside his motel room. His entire body locked up. Slowly, he looked towards the window. An owl sat on the railing outside, white feathers, huge yellow eyes, watching him, and then spoke in his mother's voice again.
You can't leave.
The motel lights suddenly died. Darkness swallowed the room, and something began crawling across the ceiling. Oh my goodness. Well, obviously you're okay, Daniel, because you wrote in this story telling us about, what had happened. Or is it really you? I would like to take a moment to say thank you to everyone for listening to the Midnight Archives. And if you would like to submit your own stories to be read aloud, make sure to send them to themidarc@gmail.com. That's THEMIDARC@gmail.com. And once again, thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast. Remember to like and subscribe. It helps us out a lot. And that'll be it for this segment of the Midnight Archives. Some stories don't end when you stop listening.
And not all stories have a happy ending.
If you're hearing this, you've stayed for too long. Tonight's tale fades into the dark, but the dark never really fades from you. Lock your doors, keep the lights on, or don't. We'll be waiting in the next story. Thanks for listening to
The Midnight Archives.